So are you a chef, accountant, IT professionals, and you're struggling to get permanent residency in Australia? People keep telling you to get 100 points, 120 points, CCL, professional years, and getting all the points, and rumors and agents talking and people scaring you taking additional courses. Come on. There's easier way to get shit done. It doesn't have to be general skill migration. That's something that happened like probably 5 years ago. It's already long gone after COVID, so many years now, and we're still using pre-COVID strategy. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down on how to get it done properly. Hi, in case it is the first time you see me, my name is Johnny. I'm a migration lawyer in Sydney, and I post daily content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and in multiple language and in different platforms. If you want to know more about how to get permanent residency in Australia and to get PR faster, make sure you hit the follow button so that you stay tuned to this. Now, I just talked about, general skill migration is something that happened in the past. And what's happening now, which is the skills in demand visa. You heard me right. I made a couple of videos about it, but people still talked about skill assessment. Still talking about adding points. Come on, man. It's 2025. It's not like 2021. So things has changed. So in order to get permanent residency, skills in demand visa is definitely a lot more popular. So based on a public report from the Australian Official Skills Temporary Visa Report, there's 63,700 applications been made for these employer-sponsored visas up until March 2025. So we're still waiting for the latest data for the whole last financial year. But this is a massive 53% jump in just 1 year comparing to the same quarter in the previous 12 months. So the old 457 visas and the temporary skill shortage is now being replaced by the 482 skills in demand visa. So let's talk about all the top 3 states of people lodging the 482 visas. Number 1, of course, is New South Wales, which is 36.3% of applications being made, which is 23,110 applications. Victoria followed by that, so 24.3%, which is 15,460 applications, and Queensland 16.6% application. But the real surprise, it's not like never heard about it before, but real surprise is in the ACT in Canberra. The data went up by 126.4%. That's a massive jump, isn't it? Like double. And South Australia, my favorite place, Adelaide, being a South Australian finest, very proud, 122.8% jump when it comes to the 482 skills in demand visas application, or the equivalent of TSS or the 457 in the past time. Skills in demand visa is definitely a quick shortcut comparing to general skill migration because it offers, you don't need to fight for superior English, you don't need to even get like professional years, just work in the nominated occupation. If you see my TikTok or Instagram, you know I keep asking, are you working in the nominated occupation? If not, why are you not working in the nominated occupation? The reason behind working in the nominated occupation is as long as you prove that you're a good worker, you work very hard, you become irreplaceable, then it's sort of forcing the employer not to do nothing but to sponsor you. Of course, there are sometimes that luck plays a bit, but a lot of people actually go through the permanent residency ladder through employer-sponsored visa programs since the Labour government comes into power. Now, let's talk about the top 15 sponsored work, and half of them actually are tradies. So number 1 will be chef, then hotel or motel managers, cook, motor mechanics, diesel mechanics, mechanical engineering technicians, fitter general, and welder. So you may sort of consider why there's a boom, right? They contribute by a couple of different factors. Number 1, the government been pushing it. Initially, they guarantee a 28 days processing time for the core skilled pathway, but now, of course, it's probably 2 to 3 months. But in the old days, they said 28 days when they first announced, and then they overestimated themselves. If you're on the specialist skill pathway, you can probably do away with 7 days, but that sort of didn't get through, unfortunately. And now there's another reason behind it is the massive expansion of core skilled occupation list. A lot of occupation that couldn't get sponsored, now they can be sponsored. For example, childcare worker. A lot of people talk about it, study childcare, then you get permanent residency. That was a false pathway before. Now, you can actually get sponsored as a childcare worker through the core skilled occupation list. As long as you earn TISMET, you'll be able to get sponsored as long as there's an employer, plus all the other requirements. But in general, as a migration lawyer, it's a fairly straightforward process. it requires way less requirements comparing to general skill migration. Of course, there are instances that I actually prefer general skill migration for some of my clients, especially when I think that they have a really good shot on getting 190 and 491. Instead of just sitting around and work for the employer for 1 year and twinkling your thumbs and thinking whether or not this guy is going to sponsor. Might as well go ahead with the 190. Also, there's different occupations like fitter generals and some of the less popular tradie course, and they actually get invited on a 189 for just 65 points in the last 189 round. But there are some occupations that I definitely recommend going through the 482. Number 1, chef, cooks, mechanics, tradies. 189 without cooks, of course. 189 is almost impossible. And state nominations are rare for these occupations. We all know that if you're in this industry, you know it for sure. So employer-sponsored visas gotta be your best shot. And you gotta be careful about the sponsorship caveats. If you want, then put it in the comment sections, and I'm more than happy to do a video to talk about what are the caveats when it comes to getting sponsored. So one of the caveats, like for example, for chef, you gotta work in a full-service restaurant, not a limited service restaurant. So you can't just work at a pizza shop or work in a Domino's takeaway and then you claim yourself as a chef and hopefully get sponsored. No, you can't do that, unfortunately. So there are different caveats on that as well. And also there's some other occupations that I consider 482 sponsorship would be quite a good idea. Like for example, accountants, definitely. IT professionals, 100%. Marketing specialists, like a lot of people have been working in marketing, content creation, like writing scripts for some migration lawyers and talk about get PR faster. So that's content creator, and definitely they could now get sponsored through the 482 visa pathway. And some of these occupations, they couldn't even go on with the 189s, or even if they can, it's ridiculously hard. Like for example, accountants, right? We talked about 100 points, or IT professionals, like 95 points, and also unsure on how to do it. But it's fairly straightforward as long as you have one employer who's look up to you and think this person, I like him, he's an irreplaceable person, and let's help him to get PR faster. Now, that's the end of this whole episode, and I hope it really helps you out to understand the basic idea on permanent residency visa and what is the employer sponsored visas and why is it more important, why is it way better comparing to the general skill migration pathway. In my future episodes, I'm going to talk about which one you should pick for certain occupations. I actually once advised a chef to go for the general skill migration visa because I looked into all the past data and I realized this guy actually have a really good shot on getting the 189 or 190 in WA, but that guy didn't listen to me and now his visa expired. These are the stuff that we can do. If you've gone this far and you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, hit like, share it with your friends, post it to your, send it to your mom or something, like, stuff that I do. Put your question in the comment section and follow me to get PR faster.